channel. So today we'll do a little bit of everything. So we've got our new Renwick and Sons grooming kit that we will actually try out for the first time, and then we'll have some lunging with a Pessoa system, and at the end I will be for the first time in about 5 months I will be riding Hazel. So if you haven't seen my video about the Renwick and Son grooming kit, I invite you to go ahead and click the little info button at the top here to see my previous videos. So today I'm testing the Renwick and Son grooming kit. It is a kit that contains 9 brushes, or pretty much 8 brushes and 1 little comb. And I'm just testing it and see how it's actually doing. It's supposed to be one of the best grooming kit in the whole world. So I'm testing every single brush. You have the curry comb, we've got the dandy brush, we've got a flick brush, we have hoof pick, mane and tail. We've pretty much got it all for this kit. So I'm just inviting you to admire the results and the shine that actually comes out from these brushes. So as you can see, Hazel is pretty relaxed here. She's really enjoying her grooming. You'll see her yawn a little bit. Yeah, just to show that she's really relaxed, enjoying her time. So Hazel was pretty dirty. She was just pulled out from the field, so she had a fair amount of mud and dirt. Here's me just cleaning the brush just because they get really dusty, especially the 2 first ones. So you have basically the curry comb, and then you have the dandy brush. As soon as you start putting the flick brush on, it starts being a little bit less dusty and dirty, and it's actually a little bit better. But yeah, she was really filthy, and that gives a fair test to these brushes. So I will be bringing you closer for the body brush. As you can see, her coat's getting really shiny. This is the 3rd brush I've used, actually the 4th brush I've used on her coat. So we had the curry comb, the dandy brush, the flick brush, and now the body brush. And as you can see, the shine is really starting to come through, and she's looking really nice. So this is Hazel just being adorable here. She wanted to smell the brush, so I let her do it. And then she was kind of asking for more, so we continued with the grooming. She seemed to really enjoy these brushes. Time to really put this grooming kit to the test, because Hazel usually doesn't let me brush her face that much. But she seemed to kind of get used to the brush being around her face there. At first she's a bit, you know, not going for it, but then as soon as I start going a little bit higher on her face, she really loves it, and she lets me brush her. So that's actually really good. It's actually one of the first time that she lets me do her face. It's now the time for my favorite brush out of this whole kit, and this is the finishing brush. It is so soft, and as you will be able to see, it brings out even more shine out of the coat, if that's even possible. As you can see, she's already really shiny, but it's bringing out an extra layer of shine to this coat. As you will be able to see, this finishing brush is not getting that dusty, and that's because I did a pretty decent job at removing most of the dirt earlier on with the other brushes. It's definitely adding the extra level of shine to this coat and removing the last little speck of dust. I'm switching now to the mane and tail brush just to do the actual dock of the tail to help promote the blood circulation and also reduce the little frizz and static that she has up there. And the last piece of this kit is the hoof pick and hoof brush. So I actually like the use of the brush. I find that the hoof pick is a little bit large, but that might be because Hazel is due for her farrier appointment there. So yeah, I found it fairly large and hard to get into the tiny little crevices, but the brush is actually really amazing. The bristles are a little hard, but they can get right in between the frog and the rest of the hoof. Time to put the boots on to make sure that Hazel is well protected while she's gonna do her lunging as well as the riding. So we're going once again with the professional choice. I think it's Medicine Boots 2, and these seem to work really well. So today we will be lunging with the help of a Pessoa system. So if you're not familiar with it, a Pessoa system is a system that has little pulleys and ropes, and it helps the horse balance themselves into a frame, as we call it, into the proper position for riding. So Hazel is learning to lower her head with this system, and it seemed to really work for us. She has learned tremendously with this system, as it basically, if you're pulling on one side and you're not properly balanced, the ropes will kind of lead the horse to take the proper shape. So we've learned, as I was saying, a lot over the few years that we've used it. So usually I only do like a 15-20 minute session to the max, and I use 1 or 2 settings in order to teach her to lower her head and to balance herself a little bit better. So don't forget, the protection is good for the horse, but it's also good for yourself. So always wear a helmet when you're around horses, would you be lunging or not. It's always good to be safe and make sure that you are protected in case of accidents. Here we are, we're all ready to go. So we're now lunging. As you can see, this whole system there, so you can see a little bit of the ropes, and at the back of her legs you have some sheepskin here to avoid the little rubbing action of the ropes. And you will see Hazel trying to touch the ground with her nose, and that's exactly what we want her to do, is to stretch down, her neck down, to help position her back the proper way for an eventual rider. So it's just to help her get in the habit of lowering her head, as it will help her back basically come upwards, and that's exactly what we want. To be able to carry a rider, you have to have the horse's back that needs to be in the proper frame, as we call it. If not, you're causing damage. So you have to teach them to lower their head and lift up their backs in order to be able to properly carry on your weight on top of them. invite you to take a look at the shine of the horse here, just because these are all it's all due to the brushes. She doesn't have any conditioner on or anything else other than the Renwick brushes that we used earlier, and as you can see, the shine is unbelievable. So here I'm just changing position of the ropes, and by doing so it helps work other muscles. So it's basically like a whole system that helps muscle their back in order to carry a rider eventually. So Hazel has a little bit of a sway back, as we call it, and that's why we have to work a little bit harder. So final step, finally time to ride. So I got the help of a friend here to just hop on, as I wanted to really focus on the actual under saddle work and not the mounting block work. So once I was on, I was just letting her feel the weight and just see how she's reacting. She's not really keen to go forward, so forgive my leg placement here. I'm just trying to get her to go forward a little bit under saddle, and it was pretty hard at the beginning, and she seemed to eventually kind of relax and take my directives here, and she is going for it. But it took a little bit, and sometimes she stops, and it took me a little bit of time to get her to go again, but we're just trying to get back into work, and that's why I'm not putting any kind of pressure other than carrying me around at this point. So it might not seem like we're doing a lot today, but it's just definitely to get her to get used to being worked again. It's been almost half a year that we've been not working under saddle, so for her it's definitely a nice reminder of how things used to be, and as well for me, as well as it is for me. I actually was a little sore the next day, so see, I think we both needed this. After 6 months, you really have to kind of be cautious and take things slow. Don't have too much criterias of like success or whatever. Just let them be, let them feel everything and get used to everything again, and then it will be a bit easier to be a little bit more safe overall. Thank you once again for taking time out of your day to be part of our journey to getting back to work under saddle. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon.